Hi, I'm Ian McCrowan, and welcome to my presentation on story drama, improvisations, and activities. The book I have chosen for this presentation is called The World Needs Who You Were Made to Be by Joanna Gaines. This children's book describes a day shared by many young children where the goal is to fill up the sky with all of their individually built hot air balloons. The book continuously reinforces the variety of ways and approaches each child has when building their balloon. The illustrations depict children of all abilities, cultural backgrounds, and genders. Ultimately, all of the balloons were able to fly harmoniously in the sky, proving that success derives from a variety of different perspectives and methods. Themes of tolerance and kindness continually resurface throughout the book with lines like, "See how beautiful it can be when our differences share the same sky." With the understanding that we have been reading this book in class already, I will begin activity number 1 with David Booth's idea of mirrors. Students will take turns as models and mirrors. The initial model will act out how they will build their very own hot air balloon. Students will be encouraged to remember the various approaches from the story. Actions like weaving, sewing, attaching various parts together, and ultimately inflating one's own balloon will be told through side coaching so as to inspire the student's movements. The mirroring student will attempt to mime these movements in real time. Activity number 2 will be a verbal activity. Using Ruth Heinig's idea of sound effects, students will create the sound effects of the burner or engine of the hot air balloon starting up. As the instructor and side coach, I will be using a ruler to indicate the valve of the engine, allowing for the flame to get bigger as it fills up our make-believe balloon. When the ruler is in the vertical position, the students will be encouraged to increase the volume of their noises. As the ruler returns to the horizontal position, turning the valve off, the students will be instructed to lower the volume of their noise. For activity number 3, we will be using the technique of pantomime, specifically slow motion pantomime. Students will now be allowed to individually take flight in their own hot air balloon. They will be encouraged to think about the various ways their balloon may fly. Some balloons may spin, while others may perhaps float up and down as if they hit a gust of wind. The main point is that the students become mindful and considerate of sharing the sky space in the classroom. As they move in slow motion, they must make room for other students passing by and learn to share the space harmoniously. My rationale of using the mirrors technique was so that students may begin to understand each other's subtle differences and approaches on how to construct their own hot air balloon. Through discussion as the teacher, I will plan to draw parallels about notions of acceptance and individuality. Throughout the sound effects activity, I plan on highlighting to the students how much more volume we can make as a collective. I will relate it to how high and successful our make-believe balloon will be able to fly since we are all working together. I really want the students to begin to see the power of collaboration. And although everyone's own individual contribution is important, when working together, we can make what seems impossible to the individual now possible as a collective. Finally, the rationale with the slow motion pantomime activity is to introduce notions of tolerance and creating space for others. I want students to realize that these simple ideas of consideration and kindness are actually incredibly effective at bridging the gap between differences of all kinds. Whether it's culturally or socially, kindness can be the catalyst to understanding and hopefully eventual acceptance and celebration of all differences. Reflecting on these activities, I wanted to highlight a quote of Ruth Heinig's from Improvisation with Fairy Tales. It states, Through drama, children are required to examine a story more closely, improving their comprehension and understanding. They are encouraged to think creatively and pretend to be their favorite characters, examining life from various viewpoints. This quote really stood out to me after developing these particular activities. The idea of examining life from various viewpoints is so essential to authentic learning and understanding. Not allowing this sense of exploring perspective will likely lead to more episodes of ignorance in our students' lives. It is crucial that we collaborate and deconstruct what we see as differences into compassion. Ruth Heinig also states, drama capitalizes on a child's natural urge to play with literature. So children already have this interest or desire to play. Why not tap into that resource and utilize it to their own advantage? We all have the ability to learn. It just becomes a matter of how we learn best. Story drama techniques give students another avenue to explore meaning and understanding in a way that comes naturally and comfortably.